Happy New Year. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Simone and you're sipping with Simone. Okay, so last year I said I was going to make a goal to kind of just once a month do a recap of all the books that I read. The two things I love to do. I like to talk. I love to read. So here I am talking to y'all about what I read. And today is Saturday, February 7th. So this video is late, but I believe in better late than never. In the month of January, I've read 4 books. So I'm going to talk to you about those books, talk about what I liked and what I didn't like. And of course, I recommend that you guys read everything that I'm talking about. So the first book that I read was Waiting to Exhale by Terry McMillan, and I would say it's one of my favorite movies. But in every new year, I have a ritual where I just take the new year and I watch Waiting to Exhale. So of course this year I was just like, okay, let me just go ahead and reread the book. And basically at its core, what the book is about 4 friends, friendship, and how they're there for each other doing everything. The 4 friends: Savannah, Bernadine, Robin, and Gloria. As far as do I like the book better than the movie? The book, it has more details, but I think the movie, I don't know. I love Angela Bassett. I love Whitney Houston. Rest in peace, my girl. And I love Gloria Devine. So, I don't know. It's a tie. Now, I also read Get Into Happy by Terry McMillan, which is the sequel to Waiting to Exhale. And the girls were really, really going through it. Gloria's husband, oh, did I say Gloria Devine? I'm sorry, y'all. I mean Loretta Devine. I'm calling her Gloria because that's her character. But in the second book, Get Into Happy, which is also by Terry McMillan, the girls were going through it. Like I said, Gloria's husband passed away, Marvin. He got shot in a drive-by. I was like, God, dog, it was accidental. Bernadine, so she actually married the guy that she was laying in the bed with, the civil rights attorney, and he actually ended up being a scammer and a bigamist. Savannah, she also had got married and then she went through a divorce. And Robin, at the end of the book, she was pregnant by Russell. He actually went to jail and she had her daughter, and her daughter is like 15 now. So the girls were kind of going through it and just ready for a big change. So to me, the things that I got out of the book was just, again, friendship, but also not being scared to take a pivot, because sometimes your life may not go the way you want it to go. So you always have to, don't be afraid to pivot. If you need somebody to talk to, go to your friends, because again, those are the people that you're going to be able to lean on. The third book that I read is called James by Percival Everett. And if you read Huckleberry and Finn, it's like that. It follows James, who is a slave, and this little boy. And he tries to escape because he found out that he was getting sold. But instead of in Huckleberry Finn, they talk about like Huckleberry's adventures. Here we talk about James' adventures. And I don't know, every time I read a book that revolves around slavery, I feel like it just gets worse and worse and worse. And honestly, I'm not surprised by anything. In my opinion, I think that James was very brave, someone who could persevere, because I don't know. I know people always like to say, we're not like our ancestors. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably not, because I don't want to give spoilers away, but this was a scene that really touched me. There was, when James, he was on a plantation, He hid and he wanted just to be able to write something. Another slave found a pencil for him, right? Gave him the pencil. A few days later, the master found out that the slave stole the pencil. They killed him. They didn't want us to read, they didn't want us to write. James could read and write, and I feel like slavery was actually the first form of code switching because they had the way that they talked to each other, like, they could read, they could write, but when they got around the white people and their masters, they had to kind of dumb themselves down a little bit so they didn't come across like, they were, I don't know, more than just a slave. Um, 5 stars. I don't have anything negative to say about the book. Would I want it to be a movie adaptation? Yes, I think that I know a lot of people don't read, but I think this will be a good screenplay. And the last book that I read, I started rereading it in the end of January, but I finished it in February. Was Toni Morrison, The Bluest Eyes, and I chose to reread it because actually last Sunday I went to go see The Bluest Eye play at the Ensemble Theater here in Houston, and so that's by Toni Morrison, and it's basically about a girl named Pecola Breedlove, and she basically wants to be white so bad because she thinks if she was white, all of the tragedies that she faced would not have happened. Deep. Because again, to me, when I think about slavery and you read the book, like, it just kind of shows how all these people and their baggage and their trauma just piled up and wounds were inflicted on Pecola's life, and she was just a little girl and she didn't really deserve any of it. So 5 stars for her, 5 stars for that book too. um yeah, let me know what y'all read in January. Sorry this video is late, sorry this video is quick. I'm sleepy and I need to make some food for my child so he can eat. So yeah, I'll see you guys next month in February. I'm gonna do my best to kind of hold myself to the standard. So deuces.